All right, Rob, we're going to talk about that Jets game. They lost 27-6. Again, their defense is one of the better defensive units in the league. But, Rob, I mean, they gave up a special teams touchdown. Check this out. Over the last, I can't remember how many years, but last few years, there are 7 punt returns for a touchdown in the whole NFL. And 4 of them are against the Jets. So they have more punt returns for TDs against them than the entire league combined over the last few years. And last night you got one. Then you also had a big defensive play where I think the Chargers got the ball at the 1 after a fumble. Zach Wilson fumbled twice. So it was the defense. You can't really blame them, but the offense is horrific. And Rob, you feel like the big story, I guess the bigger story, was Aaron Rodgers throwing the football, actually doing 3-step drops and throwing the ball 55 to 60 yards into the end zone pregame. He meets up with Derwin James. He's talking to the players after the game. Derwin James asks him, when are you coming back? And he says, give me a few weeks. And that became the big story. Now, he went on Pat McAfee show today and kind of, downplayed it, just said he's ahead of schedule, which is obvious, but that he's not ready to get under center. So I still think it's a very, very, very much of a long shot, but Rodgers is certainly playing that up. But you wonder, why is he even toying with this idea?
I got 2 things. First of all, is the Jets thing that I brought up. I just have no idea. I'm dead serious. People have seen this movie. You can't win when your quarterback can't get anything done. I don't care how good your defense is. You can't have 8 touchdowns in 8 games. 4 of them were 1-play drives. So that means in 8 games you've had, Chris, 4 drives.
That's pretty tough.
It's impossible, Chris. It's almost impossible. And then they can't convert on 3rd down. You can't win like this, and I blame the Jets GM. I blame the Jets coach, everybody. When Aaron Rodgers goes down, Chris, 4 plays into the season, you said it, pick up the phone, call Carson Wentz.
You saw what happened.
All right, he's going to the Rams, right? Because Stafford's out.
Yep.
You got to make that move, Chris, with the defense you're talking about to give yourself a fair shot. You had a good defense last year. You stuck with Zach Wilson too long. They were 7-3 and didn't make the playoffs. Why would you do the same exact movie with the same guy who can't get it done? You're wasting another season. And for Aaron Rodgers, dude, you got to be crazy, Meshuggah, to want to rush back. Did he watch the offensive line last night, Chris, with the 8 sacks? Go ahead, Aaron. Go back and go play behind that so they can break your leg in 2 and end your career. He must be crazy to think about coming back. They haven't fixed anything.
No, look, the only place you and I disagreed, you didn't even say it tonight, but you thought they shouldn't have gone into the season with Zach Wilson as the backup. I felt like, look, he's your number 2 pick. I understand feeling like, look, he can be a freaking backup, all right? And he can learn at the feet of Aaron Rodgers for the whole season, and maybe that'll help you. Obviously, Rodgers did take him under his wing. So I get that, but I'm with you, Rob, in that, I mean, we were saying it, both of us. Once you saw that Zach Wilson really wasn't ready, and he's not ready, and the fact that in horrible games, I shouldn't say horrible games, but when he plays poorly, but actually looks like a legitimate NFL quarterback, we give him praise. Just for looking serviceable. That's how bad he's been.
Not for
Rob.
looking good, right?
Right. Just for looking like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Forget anything productive. Just not being a negative. And last night, when he has the 2 fumbles, he threw for 260 some odd yards. 60 of that came on the last drive when the game was over. But Robert Saleh, Rob, and he meant well, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. But he was asked if this was, about Zach's performance. He said it wasn't his best game, but he said it also wasn't his worst game by far. Like he said it wasn't his, I think he said something, but it also wasn't close to his worst game. Like that was a back, and we didn't mean to insult him, but it was like, dude, no touchdowns, 2 fumbles, and it wasn't his worst game, and it wasn't. It was actually, passer rating wise, I think it was his 3rd best of the season. But that's how bad he is. I'm with you in that. We said it, Kirk Cousins. Now, I know he's hurt now. Who knows if he would have got hurt, playing for the Jets. You just never know. But they could have went for him, Carson Wentz, Rob. Even, Rob, if they feel like we want to see what Zach can do, fine. Still, Rob, why don't you still bring in Carson Wentz to back him up? Carson would have been starting within a few weeks, obviously. But you know what I'm saying? You could just be like, we're bringing in Carson to back up Zach. We just saw Aaron get hurt. Who knows if Zach's going to get hurt. So they just, and then Rob, even, look, what does Minnesota do when Kirk Cousins goes down? They go out and get Joshua Dobbs. And I know Joshua Dobbs is nobody's idea of Joe Montana, but still, he obviously is a competent NFL quarterback. I mean, you saw him win with Minnesota Sunday after being there for less than a week, not even knowing the plays. You could, Jacoby Brissett, a Jameis Winston. There are a lot of serviceable backups that they could have went and gotten. And Rob, it is a shame because the defense is legit. The defense essentially gave up 2 touchdowns last night. It's a good defense. It's a playoff caliber defense. And not only that, Rob, Garrett Wilson is a very good receiver. Breece Hall is a very good running back. Obviously, Dalvin Cook. Like, they've got pieces. The offensive line is bad, flat out bad. But a good quarterback can make that offensive line look better. So I'm with you on that they should have went and got somebody. And Zach is not ready, man. I mean, this is 3rd year. And Rob, I've said it before, a Joe Burrow, but of course, Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow. But what about a CJ Stroud? And heck, Joshua Dobbs. Guys like that remove the excuses. They remove he's only in his 3rd year. They remove the offensive line is bad. They remove all of that stuff because they're getting it done. And Joe Burrow, yeah, he might be great, is great. CJ Stroud, maybe he's going to be the next great one. Certainly having a great rookie year. But Joshua Dobbs? So it's a mess with the Jets. And Rodgers, I agree. I don't know why he'd be thinking about coming back this year anyway. I think even if he's ready to play, the Jets would be wise to be like, let's just get you ready for next year. I understand, Rob, him throwing on the sideline or, before the game can motivate the Jets. Maybe that's his incentive for doing this, that they see how hard he's working to try to get back. So they think, you know what, if we could just hold on and stay in the race, Rodgers is going to come back and help us. Or look how hard he's working through injury. We should be working that hard to win these games or to play better or to be the best players we can be. So maybe that's it. And I think there might be some value there. But Rob, I still think it'd be incredible if he were to come back this year.
I think it would be flat out dumb. That's it. No matter how much he wants it, it would be dumb. Because if he gets hurt, Chris, then you're lost the second season and you lost his career. So I just wouldn't chance it. And here's the number that you need to know about 3rd downs. I told you they were 3 for 17 last night on 3rd down. Their 3rd down success rate, Chris, this season, 22%. The lowest in the NFL over the past 45 years. No one has had a 3rd down conversion rate that low in 45 years in the NFL, and they keep running that kid out, telling you that they're going to make the playoffs and because their defense is good enough? You're kidding yourself.
Well, I don't know that they're telling anybody they're going to make the playoffs. It's just the fact that they're in the hunt. I'll say this. I think we were talking Eric Mangini, Coach Eric Mangini, when we were on First Things First today, he brought up a great point about how they need to be running the ball. I get you go in to play the Chargers, who have a horrible pass game defensively, and you think we can throw on them. But look, Rob, look at the Browns, another team with a fantastic defense. Deshaun Watson had been out. You think Zach Wilson's numbers are bad? You should see P.J. Walker's. All right, Zach Wilson has 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Not good. P.J. Walker has 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. So Zach Wilson's throwing for more yards than P.J. P.J. looks better to me on the field, but statistically not doing well. And they were able to win games because they ran the ball. They kept pushing to run the ball. Now, they have a fantastic offensive line, but the Jets line blocks better than it pass protects. So